felt insecure here.
हम कभी नहीं करना आप लोग शांति से रहते हैं तो बंगला में भाषा तक बात करने से हमारे लोगों को क्यों मिलेगा এই বিজেপি কে আমরা ভদ্রতা করি
We extend courtesy to this BJP. Otherwise, I don't want to say what we are capable of doing.
আমি আপনাদের বলি আমরা যদি করতে পারতাম না অনেক কিছু করতে পারতাম।
Please remember, we could have done a lot of things.
বলছে কয়লা টাকা কে খায়?
They are saying coal scam.
কি করে খায়?
But who has taken the money of coal scam? It is the Home Minister.
গদ্দার
It is the Gaddar.
হয়ে গেছে গদ্দারের থ্রুতে টাকা দেয়
Home Minister used to get the money of coal scam through the Gaddar. It is the BJP leaders who made money through coal scam and sent it to the Home Minister. It is Home Minister Amit Shah who got the money and the proceeds from the coal scam. I want to tell them, it is your good luck that I am still in power in Bengal, but I have the evidence on pen drive, but I have not put it in public. But if you keep attacking me, I will expose you. But I'm still maintaining courtesy. But remember, there is a threshold to everything. Do not cross the Lakshman Rekha. If you do, you will not be able to tackle. I know a lot of things. I am privy to a lot of things, but I don't speak out just for the good of the nation, because if I do, there will be big trouble. When your party holds meetings, then you take police, BSF, CRPF, CISF. They are such cowards. Today Abhishek went for a rally in Nadia and they got the central forces. Why should they intervene in the law and order of a state? If Prime Minister comes here for a meeting, does the police not provide him security? What I did yesterday, I did it as the chairperson of the All India Trinamool Congress. I don't mind doing what I've done. But you are a thief. You are trying to steal our election data. You are trying to steal the addresses of the TMC's BLA2s. We have authorized IPAC. They are working for the Trinamool Congress. You sent your team at 6 o'clock. I entered at 11:45. But you stole everything in that time. When I heard the news. But when I called Pratik, I found that he was not responding to calls. That raised a suspicion in my mind. You have to understand, I love my people, I love my supporters. I have to save my party. I have to save my people. If I don't save and stand for my party, how will we fight them? Shameless BJP has forgotten that the same agency IPAC had also worked with Narendra Modi. The same IPAC has also worked for Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar. Jagan Mohan Reddy, they had worked for Jagan Mohan Reddy as well. That time Prashant Kishore was at the helm. Now, Prashant Kishore has opened his own political party, so therefore, Pratik Jain is in charge of IPAC right now. So IPAC looks after our IT cell in West Bengal. We have only one, but BJP have crores and crores of money. They have so many agencies. But look how arrogant they have become. Those who indulge and foment riots, they are the ones who are in power in this country right now. I can expect courtesy from a gentleman.
গুজরাটের প্রাক্তন হোম মিনিস্টার মিস্টার হারিন পান্ডে বললেন পার্লামেন্টে পারলে তোমরা তুলো কোথায় গেল
What happened to Harin Pandya, the former home minister of Gujarat? Will the Righteous Party now answer? Have they forgotten Godhra? Have they forgotten Unnao? Have they forgotten Delhi? Have they forgotten Hathras, Pahalgam?
সব ভুলে গেছেন বাংলায় সব অনুপ্রবেশকারী
They keep saying that Bengal is full of infiltrators.
অন্য দেশের ব্যাপার বলে বলছি না
I don't want to comment because it also involves relations with another country. But who is in charge of guarding our borders? It is the BSF. The BSF was in charge. They had a jurisdiction of 5 kilometers. Now they have increased their jurisdiction to 50 kilometers. They're doing this just to intimidate people at the border. West Bengal government is responsible to man our international borders. It is the BSF. Who looks after the coast? It is the CISF. Who is in charge of giving passports? It is the central government. Who is in charge of customs? It is the central government. Train services, civil aviation, everything is under the central government. So, whoever is entering the country, using whichever mode of transport, we are not supposed to know. It is the central government's duty. They are now questioning icons like Amartya Sen, asking him to explain why there is an age difference. What is his mother's age? In this country, institutional delivery of children took place pretty late. A lot of people were born at home. Many people have issues with their birth certificates. So may I ask them, what is their mode of delivery? Are you the delivery boy of CBI or the ED?
हमारा परिवार का कोई पॉलिटिक्स नहीं करेगा क्यों नहीं करेगा पॉलिटिक्स করলে তো খাটতে হয় বদনাম খেতে হয় সারাক্ষণ খেতে বেড়াতে হয় আর তোমার ছেলে কিচ্ছু করবে না
Mamata Banerjee attacks the Home Minister saying that why can't people from our family enter into politics? It is hard work. But what about your son? He got everything without any hard work. He's now the international president. From washing machine, they have now become vanishing machine.
আমরা তো মনে করি মাঝে মাঝে রেড কার্পেট পেতে অনেক যত্ন করে প্রোগ্রাম করে একটা ছেলে জয় বাংলা বলেছিল বলে মারতে পেরে গিয়েছিল আমার মনে আছে আমি ছবিটা দেখেছিলাম আর তোমরা যে সারাক্ষণ কুৎসাটা গালাগালি দাও
You defame us all the time using social media. And there are a few dalals who are working at their behest in lieu of money. If you target me unnecessarily,
there you go, Mamata Banerjee addressing the crowd, also making some very sharp remarks towards the BJP. Now, what you see on your screen right now is Mamata Banerjee taking the battle for Bengal to the streets. Just yesterday, here on the program, we broke the story of what was unfolding in Bengal. And today, 24 hours later, the story has unfolded and how. Mamata Banerjee there took out a Padyatra, had a march that has now culminated into her speech. In that speech, she's talking about all those attacks. But one thing is clear.
जो कल मुख्यमंत्री का एक्शन था, the entire action of the chief minister is totally unethical, unconstitutional and criminal offense किया है, जो उन्होंने संविधान की शपथ लेकर असंवैधानिक काम किया है मुख्यमंत्री.
All right, you're seeing parallel protests over there, one by BJP, one by the Trinamool Congress, and there the battle for Bengal is heating up. And how? Let me quickly bring in our reporters now to bring you more perspective on the story and what's happening really on the ground. Indrajit Kundu is with us. Indrajit, what 24 hours have you really witnessed, right from ED making that search to Mamata Banerjee coming out with the papers? Now she's the one driving the narrative, taking it to the streets and saying this is an all-out attack by the BJP. The one thing she's saying very categorically is actually responding to Amit Shah on the outsiders and the Bangladeshi comments. She's saying who's protecting the borders? It's the Home Ministry and they should respond, not her.
well, yes, Mamata Banerjee, of course, firing on all cylinders right now at this rally. The rally has culminated next to our house here at the Hajra crossing. And this is where Mamata Banerjee is speaking. I will ask my camera person to show. She's on the dais, she's giving the speech, and it's a scathing attack against not just the central government, but the BJP in general, and also Home Minister Amit Shah, under whom you have the ED and the CBI. And Mamata Banerjee accusing the misuse of central agencies, and she's saying that all the central agencies have been captured by the BJP. She's saying that if the BJP continuously keeps on harping on the fact that that Bengal is full of illegal Rohingyas, then how is it? What is the role of the BSF? It is the BSF's failure. It is the BSF which mans the international borders, the customs, the passport. All these agencies are controlled by the central government. So it is impossible for the state government to know who is moving in and out of the country through various modes of transport. So why is it that the BJP is continuously targeting the West Bengal government and the Trinamool Congress over this issue? So Mamata Banerjee taking the attack head on, point by point at this point in time, as she tries to build that narrative in favor of her party. Back to you.
Right, Indrajit there talking about and at that location where Mamata Banerjee is still speaking. Remember that march started about 2 hours ago. It has culminated into that speech that she's making. But as we understand that there is now a parallel protest by the BJP that has started as well. My colleague Anupam Mishra is also with us. Anupam, very interesting to see that this entire protest march and the current instigation would have started with the ED protest, or in fact the ED raid over there. But Mamata Banerjee is using this platform to attack Amit Shah point by point on the press conference that he had while he was in Bengal just last week.
Well, yes, Mamata Banerjee, if you see Mamata Banerjee, yesterday she has also attacked Amit Shah, and right now today she is also attacking Amit Shah. And it's a direct attack towards Amit Shah, because one thing Mamata Banerjee said, that the coal scam which ED had referred, that they have gone for research. The same coal scam Mamata Banerjee has also referred, and she said that the money from coal scam is going to Amit Shah, and Shubhendu Adhikari is facilitating that money to Amit Shah. This is a direct attack. In fact, Mamata Banerjee has got personal also. She has also indirectly told about Amit Shah's son. So it's a very personal and direct attack by Mamata Banerjee towards Amit Shah. But one thing is also important, that Mamata Banerjee has clarified that she is not going to go down. She has specifically said that whatever she has done yesterday was right. She has done that as a chairperson of Trinamool Congress, and whatever she has done, that was the right thing. That is what Mamata Banerjee has said. So she has defended her action yesterday. So one thing is clear, that Mamata Banerjee is not going to go down.
Right. Let me go back to Indrajit on that point there. Indrajit, if we look back at this BJP versus TMC, entire fiasco, how it's unfolded in the past, Mamata Banerjee has played her shot for the day. We are expecting a response from the BJP to come. I see a protest rally already that has started off by the BJP. But how are you seeing the story unfold?
Well, as I said, it's an all-out street fight that has engulfed Bengal politics, and on expected lines. It's not unexpected. You can only say that even though this was a protest march by Mamata Banerjee, it is in a sense the beginning of her campaign for these elections, because this has thrown open a great opportunity for Mamata Banerjee in a sense, because she thrives on such street politics. She thrives on the victim card. This is vintage Mamata Banerjee that we had witnessed in the past 3 hours. 10-kilometer Padayatra. And this is just the start of many such Padayatras that is expected from the Trinamool Congress, and Mamata Banerjee will be doing that. She knows that this is her zone, this is her staff, her turf in South Kolkata, Trinamool Congress bastion. She's walking past, hundreds of supporters, thousands of supporters in South Calcutta, and rallying support. And everywhere that we saw, out of the 10 people that were standing there, 7 to 8 were women. So she knows that's her core vote bank. It is a woman who is, who in a sense is seduced by the phenomena called Mamata Banerjee, and therefore she has been able to galvanize that support. And what happens is, when she plays this role of a street fighter, even though she is the chief minister, she almost thrives as, as an opposition leader, as somebody who is fighting it out on the streets of Bengal. That recharges and energizes her support base, her party cadres, and it helps the Trinamool Congress. And therefore, Mamata Banerjee back to what she does best, and this is exactly what she is doing at the dais today.
What I'm hearing from you then, is that the next leg of this BJP versus TMC is going to be fought on the streets. It's not in the courts, as many would like to believe. That's a parallel war that's going on. There is a plea and a counter plea and a court and a second court. That's where it's going to unfold. But this will be fought out on the streets. And may I just add to say that Mamata Banerjee is looking extremely fit. I see her with a fitness band. I see her back to walking like an absolute warrior. So she's game. It's the election bugle has been blown. This is West Bengal in election mode.
Well, Sonal, I couldn't hear your question. There's a lot of noise. Mamata Banerjee sloganeering on the stage, and women and supporters are raising the slogan. But what I do understand, of course, is that there are legal ramifications to what she has done yesterday, and she did clarify that on the stage. She said that she knows what she has done, and what she did yesterday, she did not do it in the capacity of the Chief Minister of West Bengal. She did it as the party president, as the Supremo of the Trinamool Congress, and it is her bounden duty to safeguard the interests of a party and her supporters. And that's why she said that if I don't stand up for my party right now, how are we expected to fight in this election? How are we expected to take on the BJP? And that's why she pretty well understands the consequences of what she has done. There will be legal ramifications. The issue matter came up in the court today. It will be heard on 14th of January. I've spoken to numerous Trinamool Congress leaders at this rally, and I had asked them pointed questions about whether they fear that there will be legal ramifications, whether there could be an action against Mamata Banerjee. Please understand, if there is an action against Mamata Banerjee, even though it might have legal mandate, if she is touched, that's going to give huge mileage to the Trinamool Congress, because that's the politics of the Trinamool Congress. Mamata Banerjee plays the victim card. She literally provokes, and that's why if she's touched, she has said that she would be more ferocious. She says that, once I'm hurt, I become more ferocious, I get more energy, and yesterday was a new lease of life. That is exactly what she said just a short while back. So Mamata Banerjee thrives through such street politics, and one can't, browbeat her or somehow make her scared of a situation. This is her style of politics. This is her domain. And if somebody wants to come and play in her domain, that she's all ready for that fight. And that's the message coming out of Mamata Banerjee today.
Yeah, but Indrajit, no doubts for saying at this point that Mamata Banerjee is one of the strongest opposition leaders in the country. The last use of the censor board and all the way to allegations of misuse of ED as well. What a day it has been for the government of India. Hello and welcome. This is 5 Live. I'm Sonal Kapoor. Lots of developments happening at the top of this hour. But quickly, let's take a glimpse of what we've got for you.
Mamata versus ED. It has gotten personal. Didi street fighter avatar returns. Kolkata to Delhi. TMC Netas march on. Blockbuster before ballot battle. Filegate to decide Bengal's fate.
কোঅপারেশন ডিপার্টমেন্টের সেক্রেটারি ছিলেন, আমার তাতে আপত্তি নেই, কিন্তু ভ্যানিশ কুমার যদি ভোট ভ্যানিশ করে দেয় তাহলে বলবো না কেন? আপনি কি ম্যাজিশিয়ান? জনগণ ঠিক করবে কাকে ভোট দেবে, না আপনি বিজেপিকে ইলেকশনে জেতাবার জন্য সব নাগরিকদের অধিকার কেড়ে নিচ্ছেন? নাগরিকদের অধিকার কেড়ে নিলে আপনার অধিকারও আমরা কেড়ে নেব। মনে রাখবেন, আঘাত করলে প্রত্যাঘাত কি করে করতে হয়। আজ সকাল 8টায় দিল্লির কুয়াশা ঠান্ডার মধ্যে আমাদের এমপিরা প্রতিবাদ করেছে, তাদের চ্যাংদোলা করে অত্যাচার করে টেনে নিয়ে গেছেন, আর এখানে লাল কার্পেট বিছিয়ে পুলিশ আপনাদের মিটিং করায়, কোর্টের পারমিশন নিয়ে আসেন, দখল করেছেন, সব দখল করেছেন।
You have captured all the agencies under the government of India. You have captured power in Maharashtra. I challenge you. You have captured Haryana forcibly. You have captured Bihar forcibly.
হরিয়ানা জোর করে দখল করেছেন, বিহার জোর করে দখল করেছেন, অনেক রাজ্য জোর করে দখল করেছেন।
You have captured multiple states forcibly. Every time you hear Bengal, you start attacking us. You just can't tolerate Bengal. Anyone who speaks in Bengali are being attacked in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Uttar Pradesh, in Delhi, in Gujarat. What do they think we are? We live in peace and harmony. We believe in the harmony of all religions. There are a lot of Hindi-speaking people in Bengal here at this rally. I want to ask them, have they ever felt insecure here?
এই বিজেপিকে আমরা ভদ্রতা করি,
courtesy to this BJP.
কি করা উচিত আপনারা জানেন।
Otherwise, I don't want to say what we are capable of doing.
আমি আপনাদের বলি আমরা যদি করতে পারতাম না অনেক কিছু করতে
Please
পারতাম।
remember, we could have done a lot of things.
বলছে কয়লার টাকা কে খায়?
They are saying
অমিত শাহ খায়, অমিত
coal
শাহ।
scam.
কি করে খায়?
But who has taken the money of coal scam? It is the Home Minister.
গদ্দার
It is the Gaddar.
adoption হয়ে গেছে। গদ্দারের থ্রুতে টাকা দেয়।
Home Minister used to
সাথে
get
আছে এক জগন্নাথ।
the money of coal scam through the Gaddar.
জগন্নাথ নয়। পুরীর জগন্নাথ নয়, বড় ডাকাত জগন্নাথ বিজেপি।
It is the BJP leaders
জগন্নাথের থ্রুতে টাকা
who made
যায়
money through coal scam.
শুভেন্দু অধিকারীর কাছে। আর
And sent it to the Home
শুভেন্দু
Minister.
অধিকারীর টাকা যায় অমিত শাহর কাছে।
It is Home Minister Amit
শুনুন,
Shah
আপনাদের ভাগ্য ভালো এখনো
who got the money
যে আমি
and the
চেয়ারে
proceeds
আছি বলে
from the
না,
coal scam.
ওই pen drive
I
গুলো
want to
বাইরে
tell
পেশ
them,
করে দিই না।
It is your good luck that I am still in power in Bengal, but I have the evidence on pen drive, but I have not put it in public. But if you keep attacking me, I will
আমি একটা জায়গা
expose you.
পর্যন্ত সৌজন্যতা মেনটেন করি।
But I'm still maintaining
মনে
courtesy.
রাখবেন,
But remember,
সীমারেখা একটা
there
আছে।
is a threshold to everything.
দণ্ড কাটা একটা দণ্ডি আছে।
Do not cross the Lakshman Rekha.
দণ্ডি পেরিয়ে গেলে কিন্তু
If you do,
আর সামনে রাখতে পারবেন
you
না।
will not be able to
আমি
tackle.
অনেক কিছু জানি।
I know a lot of
বলি না
things.
শুধু দেশের স্বার্থে।
I am privy to a lot of things, but I don't
আমি
speak
মুখ
out
খুললে তার সারা
just
পৃথিবীকে
for
বলতেই
the
হবে।
good of the nation, because if I
কিন্তু আমি
do,
বলি না দেশটাকে ভালোবাসি বলি।
there will
এগুলো
be
দুর্বলতা নয়। আপনারা
big
মিটিং
trouble.
করলে পেছনে পুলিশ, সামনে পুলিশ, ওদিকে সিআরপিএফ, ওদিকে বিএসএফ, ওদিকে আইএসএফ।
when your party holds
এত
meetings,
অফিসের কাছে মিটিং করতে এত বিদ্যুৎ
then you
দল,
take police,
বিদ্যুৎ টিম,
BSF, CRPF, CISF.
ভীরু, কাপুরুষ।
They are such cowards.
ফোর্স দিয়ে পুরো এলাকাটাকে দখল
Today,
করে।
Abhishek went
ওর কি অধিকার আছে?
for a rally in
তুমি
Nadia,
law and order এ
and they
interfere
got
করছো?
the central forces.
আচ্ছা বলুন তো আপনারা,
Why should they intervene in the law and order of a state? If Prime Minister comes here for a meeting,
পলিটিক্যাল মিটিং করলেও পুলিশের সিকিউরিটি থাকে না?
does the police not provide him security?
আমি কাল যা করেছি অ্যাজ অল ইন্ডিয়া তৃণমূল কংগ্রেসের চেয়ারম্যান করেছি, এবং যা করেছি আমি কোনো অন্যায় করিনি।
What I did yesterday, I did it as
আমার
the chairperson of the All India Trinamool Congress. I don't mind doing what I've done, but you are a thief. You are trying to steal our election data. You are trying to steal the addresses of the TMC's BLA2s. We have authorized IPAC. They are working for the Trinamool Congress. You sent your team at 6 o'clock. I entered at 11:45. But you stole everything in that time.
আমি খবরটা শুনেছিলাম
When I heard the news,
তারপর আমি প্রতীককে ফোন করলাম,
but when I called Pratik, I found that he was not responding to calls. That raised a suspicion in my mind.
জোড়া ফুলটাতেই তো আমরা দাঁড়াই, তা জোড়া ফুলটা যদি রক্ষা না হয়, পার্টিটাই যদি
You have to
রক্ষা না
understand,
হয়,
I love my people, I love my supporters. I have to save my party, I have to save my people. If I don't save and stand for my party, how will we fight them?
ওরা কাজ করে, ভুলে গেছে বিজেপি এই কান কাটা দলগুলো। নরেন্দ্র মোদীর সাথে এরা একদিন কাজ করেছে।
Shameless BJP has forgotten that the same agency IPAC had also worked with Narendra Modi.
চন্দ্রবাবু নাইডুর হয়ে কাজ করেছিল।
The same IPAC has also worked for Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar.
জগন রেড্ডির হয়ে কাজ
Jagan Mohan
করেছিল।
Reddy, they had worked for Jagan Mohan Reddy as well.
প্রশান্ত কিশোর ছিল।
That time Prashant Kishore was at the helm.
হয়েছে।
Now
প্রশান্ত এখন পলিটিক্যাল পার্টি করেছে।
Prashant Kishore has opened his own political party, so therefore Pratik Jain is in charge of IPAC right now. So IPAC looks after our IT cell in West Bengal.
সনাতন নীলমণি আর বিজেপির তো কয়েক কোটি।
We have only one. But BJP have crores and crores of...
And also, ED officers were wrongfully restrained and confined by the Bengal police is what the ED has claimed before the High Court. On the other hand, we have seen TMC tell the High Court that ED has acted in a very malafide manner, in a very arbitrary manner, and that during the searches that were conducted by the ED, they seized confidential data that belongs to the party pertaining to the 2026 West Bengal elections. According to the party, the political party, election data has no connection with any scheduled offence, any money laundering offence, which is why ED has no business raiding the area or seizing those documents in the first place. However, according to TMC, ED through its raid has shown a very clear violation over the confidential party files. According to them, whatever materials the ED was trying to confiscate in those raids, in the seizure, they have absolutely no nexus, not even a remote nexus to any scheduled offence. It doesn't come under the scope of the Money Laundering Act or under ED's scope of investigation at all. In fact, in a big statement, we have seen TMC claim that ED's actions against IPAC is a mere pretext of investigation that has been adopted only to control the political party's electoral role management and with a clear intent to disrupt the free and fair election process. So we have seen serious allegations coming from both TMC and Enforcement Directorate, and what the Calcutta High Court would have to say on the next date of hearing as far as this case is concerned would be a very, very crucial development that we will know more about on the 14th of January.
You know, at the end of the day, if the matter has been postponed up until the 14th of January, the big question is what next for the ED, because they've sought immediate relief, haven't they, Shrishti? Saying that we need to in fact carry out the investigations in this case. We have our documents that have been snatched away by the TMC. So is there no immediate relief in that sense for the investigating agency?
Well, yes, definitely. Both the political party and the investigating agency have sought immediate relief. ED has, in fact, sought action against the police officials and the chief minister, as well from the Calcutta High Court, to the manner in which they have been behaving. As I pointed out, according to them, whatever was done by the West Bengal chief minister and in putting out the files and leaving from the location, and also the action by the Calcutta police, according to the ED, basically equates to theft and illegal removal of digital devices and documents. So they are alleging offences on part of the chief minister and also the Calcutta police. According to them, for whatever has been done on part of the Calcutta police in this case, basically is overreach of authority and is clear disregard of law, because according to the investigating agencies under the PMLA Act, they have the right to conduct raids and search and seizure as far as money laundering offences under PMLA are concerned. They've also claimed that the manner in which the police has acted, the PM has acted, would also be an interference.
Be with us. I'm coming back to you, Shrishti Oja, in a moment from now. Anirban, my colleague, was at the Calcutta High Court where the chaos broke out. Anirban, what happened there? The courtroom, you're telling us, was packed with lawyers and there was a lot of commotion. Those who were not involved in the case were eventually asked to leave, but that also didn't happen. Give us more details.
Adjourning the matter to January.
Well, see what happened when the judge has entered into the courtroom. After that, a chaos erupted inside, and we have seen lots of lawyers, those who are not associated with this case, also inside the courtroom. Judge has asked several times to leave the courtroom, but still after that, also the lawyers, those who are associated, they have requested other lawyers and other people to leave the courtroom. But after that, what happened? Chaos erupted and there is lots of noise. And after that, the judge, Shubhra Ghosh, has warned them several times. But still after that, there was no retaliation from the others. And after that, what happened? Shubhra Ghosh left the courtroom. And as we have learned from the court itself, that on 14th of January, again, the hearing of this case will happen. And we are yet to hear from the lawyers, as the respondent lawyers, as well as the petition lawyer. We have to watch and see.
That's right. In fact, we'll just come back to you in a moment from now. Anirban Roy also telling us about what really transpired in the Calcutta High Court, where there was a fair amount of confusion. On the right side of your screen, you see these pictures coming in. The Chief Minister Mamata Bandyopadhyay there from Kolkata. We have these images of the protest that is being led by the Chief Minister and the Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee there against the central government, and this time more particularly against the Enforcement Directorate for what they say is a politically motivated case against the IPAC. That's the organization that is working with the Trinamool Congress like it's done in the past as well in the run-up to the elections in the state of West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee leading the protest and seen in these images coming in. I'm going straight across to Indrajit, who's at the spot where Mamata is right now. Indrajit, the Chief Minister herself leading this charge.
Well, Sneha, Mamata Banerjee has arrived at the rally venue, and we can expect the protest march to start anytime. In fact, it has started. She will be walking this entire stretch along with her supporters in Kolkata, top brass of the Trinamool Congress. We've seen several top leaders like Kolkata Mayor and Minister Farhad Hakim, Minister Shujit Bose, Malay Ghotok. There are several other, MP Rachana Bandyopadhyay. A lot of top leaders are here. Of course, the MPs are in Delhi. We saw this morning the kind of chaos that erupted in New Delhi when they were protesting in front of Amit Shah's house. But look at the turnout. I will ask my camera person to show. This is what happens when Mamata Banerjee gives such a war cry. Whenever she calls for a rally, this is what she does. Look at the amount of women who have gathered here for this protest march. On both sides of the street, on this side and on that side, you would always see whenever Mamata Banerjee is out on the street, women take to the street, responding to her call in large numbers. This is vintage, Mamata Banerjee, her street fighter image that she has cultivated over several decades now. Even though she is the Chief Minister, she thrives, her politics thrives on the streets of Kolkata, and this time it's no different. And this is coming just months ahead of the West Bengal Assembly elections. While jury is still out, the matter is pending before the court. Mamata Banerjee, being the Chief Minister, when she rushed inside the premises, which was being raided by a central agency like the ED, there are legal ramifications, there are legal consequences. That legal battle would be fought inside the courtroom. But that's a long drawn process. But Mamata Banerjee, being an astute politician, she knows that the message and the optics is much, much more important. It's significant to galvanize support. And that's why, even though she was trying to portray the message that she is fighting like the captain, like the Bengal Tigress, for her own party supporters, for the interest of her party. And that's why she is out, because she is accusing the BJP, the central agencies, of stealing the Trinamool Congress's data. And look at the turnout of women. I would once again show. Look at the women supporters out here. So you see women in large numbers. If you see 10 people out here waiting in the streets, there will be 7 to 8 women out there in this rally, and she would be walking this entire distance. So Mamata Banerjee will be leading from the front. She would be in charge, and she would try to send across this message. This is South Kolkata. Her rally is beginning from the Jadavpur area, right opposite the Jadavpur University main gate. And she would be walking to Hajra, which is not very far away from her Kalighat residence. But South Kolkata is always the bastion of the Trinamool Congress, of Mamata Banerjee. This is where she resides, and this is where she gets her, support from. And therefore, she's flexing her political muscle a day after those ED searches that were conducted in Kolkata, and she wants to give out a larger message to not just the city of Kolkata, but to the entire state of West Bengal, that she is here with her supporters, with her workers on the street, and she wants to send out the message that she is the victim. She is being targeted by the central government, by the Modi regime, and the BJP is using the central agencies to, in a sense, corner her, because she is the last woman standing as far as the Modi, Amit Shah juggernaut is concerned. Back to you.
Look at those pictures coming in of a huge crowd that has gathered there. These are TMC workers, supporters of the Trinamool Congress in Jadavpur in Kolkata, from where Indrajit is reporting, playing victim here, saying that I've been continuously targeted. I recall a few moments ago, Indrajit, when we were chatting, you said this is quintessential Mamata, isn't it? Before the elections, we will see more campaigns of this sort, claiming political vendetta. Also, the fact that she is being targeted in this fashion and that she isn't new to being at the receiving end of all of this. It's happened in the past, and she is going to take it head on. That really is the message from the TMC Supremo here, isn't it?
Absolutely, Sneha. As you said, this is not the first time. It's almost like a sense of deja vu for us, journalists who have been covering Mamata Banerjee over several decades now. We have seen this. And when she walked in just a short while back, she was limping. Here is a lady who is in her late 60s. She was limping. And yet, we see now Madan Mitra, another, top Trinamool Congress leader who is here to join Mamata Banerjee, join her ranks. Madanda, this is a big rally. What is the message that you are going to send today?
আচ্ছা আমি তোমায় একটু বাদে করি মিছিলে হাঁটছি একটু আচ্ছা
Madanda, what is the message that Didi is going to send? She is not afraid. There is a case pending before the High Court.
strange things are happening in Calcutta and the only answer is Mamata Banerjee is on road and that's enough.
But are you not afraid? Is TMC not afraid that there can be legal ramifications?
No, nothing. Only the central government is doing all the nuisance business. Let BJP understand what is Bengal. जो बंगाल से टकराएगा वो चूर हो जाएगा.
All right. So you see, this is the kind of message that we would get, from the Trinamool Congress leadership whenever Mamata Banerjee is out on the street, because it energizes her cadres, her leadership. Every time she thinks Mamata Banerjee, her back is against the corner. There is a crisis, a political crisis as far as her party is concerned. She knows her tried and tested formula is to galvanize public support, create public mood, and set the narrative. So in this case, was that a miscalculation? The fact that the ED went in just before the elections, a lot of political experts are now asking, one, of course, just a few days back when Home Minister Amit Shah was here in Bengal, there was this pointed question that was asked to the Home Minister, that why is it that suddenly in the past 2 years, the central agencies have gone quiet? Why is it that all those Trinamool Congress leaders who had actually been arrested, and I spoke to Madan Mitra, he was also arrested, he was also behind bars, there were allegations against him. So there is Partho Chatterjee, the former education minister, there is the former food and civil supplies minister Jyotipriya Mollik, there is the Trinamool strongman from Birbhum, Anubrata Mandal. All of them had been arrested on various charges of allegations. But nothing transpired in all those cases. Those cases are still pending. However, what has happened, all these leaders that I have just named, they're out on bail. So therefore, the question that arises, that what is the timeline? What is the rate and the success of the ED in closure of these cases? There will be questions that would be asked on the streets of Kolkata. Many people do ask that, are the central agencies actually, trying to curb corruption? Is there a decisive effort to curb corruption, or are they being used as a political tool? Now, this is exactly the narrative that Mamata Banerjee will now try to propagate, that all these years, last 2 years, the ED and the CBI, they were dormant, they were quiet, and suddenly right before the elections, the ED has decided to raid the IPAC office. If at all, what the ED claims that they have substantial evidence, why did it take so long for the Enforcement Directorate to conduct these raid and search operations now? Why not earlier? Why just a few days after Amit Shah's visit to West Bengal? These are political questions. These are questions that are doing the rounds in the political circles of West Bengal. And mind you, with Mamata Banerjee out on the street, these are the things that she will once again harp on in order to raise doubts in the minds of her voters and also paint this image that it is her. She is the one, a lady, in her 60s, she's fighting this lone battle against the might of the Modi Shah juggernaut, and she is being targeted using the central agencies. This is the narrative that the Trinamool wants to set, and she's doing it the way she does it all the time, by hitting out on the streets and rallying support in her favor. Back to you.
Absolutely, Indrajit. And I note every point that you're really mentioning, it certainly opens room to a larger debate and questions where we seek answers. But I want to narrow this down. Narrow this down to Mamata Banerjee's action. Narrow this down to simply asking, if the Central Investigating Agency is conducting a raid, can any individual, especially a chief minister, a top cop, can any individual, no matter how powerful or not, walk in and obstruct a raid like this? Is it in the legal ambit?
Well, exactly. That is the big question. Of course not. I mean, if you ask, these are the scenes at this rally. But if you ask me, of course not. It is not legal. She does flout the law. But as you just heard from Madan Mitra, veteran Trinamool Congress leader, a former minister, and I asked him, and I am asking all the Trinamool Congress leaders that I've met in the past half an hour, I'm asking them again and again, aren't they afraid? Isn't the Trinamool Congress afraid that the case is pending before the Calcutta High Court, that the ED has leveled such serious allegations against the Chief Minister herself, not any other leader, and she will face the consequences. There will be certain legal consequences of her actions. It's not like she did not, she did not fathom the significance and the importance of what she was doing, or the gravity of what she was doing. She is an astute politician. She must have taken that into account. So there will be legal consequences. But the point here is politics plays out very differently, and perception is everything as far as politics is concerned. So even though she might be pulled up in the court for breaking or flouting the law, as far as the support on the ground is concerned, the people is concerned, if she can take the message to them that she was doing this to save her party. She is a one-woman, army who is trying to save her own political, party that is being unfairly targeted. If this is the message that she can take across to the people, then she senses that she has an opportunity. And this is exactly what Mamata Banerjee does, the best every time she's out on the streets.
But that is exactly the point, Indro, that cobbling so much support cannot turn a wrong into a right. Fact simply remains that Mamata Banerjee did go against the law. While she could have a certain narrative against the BJP, she could be fighting this battle against the BJP. But there has to be a certain manner in which that is done. And you have to remain on the right side of the law, especially you being the chief minister.
Well, no doubt about it. There's no two ways about, what you are saying. So, one, of course, is the moral judgment or the ethical judgment and the legal judgment. So legal judgment is pending before the court. That will come when it has to come. You know how the legal system works in India. So it's going to be a long, protruding legal battle. But will that, will there be a specific directive from the court? We don't know how long those legal battles will continue. Will it happen within the phase when the elections take place in Bengal? Then it might have a different consequence. So these are things that we don't know. These are things that are still unclear. But what is happening, of course, is that you see these Trinamool Congress workers, they are charged. They are very, very charged. And this is what Mamata Banerjee knows. So she might be taking a risk. It may be a legal risk, but she knows her legal risk may pay political dividends in the surcharged political atmosphere of West Bengal. And that's why, in a sense, Mamata Banerjee is doing what she has always done. And this is something that has worked for her, a tried and tested formula. And that's why she's once again out on the streets.
Talk about the political messaging. This is Mamata Banerjee's fight against the BJP. This is the TMC's fight against the BJP. But they are now out here to project that this is West Bengal's fight. How does this make Mamata Banerjee any different when she alleges the same against the BJP to say that they make the party's fight the nation's fight? How is she playing this game any different?
Well, look, the political reality and the real politic on the ground in West Bengal is very different from what you see in other states. This is a unique state. It has its own unique culture, and there are political.
I apologize having to interrupt you here, and certainly wanting to get all the answers from you as these developments are moving at a very fast pace. For the moment, cutting across to our colleague Preeti, joining us from the newsroom.
All right, joining me right now is senior BJP leader Swapan Dasgupta. Mr. Dasgupta, thank you for speaking with us. It's been a while. We've seen you on television. Hope you've been well. Mr. Dasgupta, first up, what do you make of what you're seeing today on the streets of Kolkata? With what happened yesterday of the ED action, now a massive political flashpoint where you have Mamata Banerjee once again questioning the credibility of central agencies.
I think there are two significant developments today as far as West Bengal politics is concerned. Of course, Mamata Banerjee taking to the streets was a very predictable response they had. But equally significant, in my view, was the fact that today, the hearing of the Calcutta High Court on the petition moved by the ED and, in fact, and even the TMC was suspended because of general fracas in the courtroom, which was done entirely by the TMC. So, there's a vested interest they have in ensuring that the court hearings are delayed as far as possible, gives them that space to go and behave like a martyr, feign martyrdom on the streets. You see, what is necessary as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, and here I agree with your correspondent who said it earlier, Mamata Banerjee, for a various number of reasons, was on the back foot. And she now feels, in her perception, that she can move to the offensive and, if not galvanize the whole state, at least galvanize her own committed supporters. And this is precisely the same game she's doing. Remember, in the last election, she tried to, in the 2021 election, she banged her foot against the car door and made a big show out of that. We went around in a wheelchair and all that. So all those dramatic are very much. As far as the assertion that, Bengal is above the rule of law and follows the rule of jungle, and that's the new normal. I mean, that's also an assertion which she's trying to make, and which I think will have to be vigorously contested by every single individual, every single political institution and the legal institution of this country. Because what took place yesterday in Calcutta was an affront to the rule of law. Earlier we have said, we have noted by the governors noting that the rule of law has been replaced by the law of the ruler. So yesterday was a classic example of that I don't like what the ED is doing, so I'm going to forcibly use my political, moral, and constitutional authority to physically prevent it and make a show of actually taking away the documents in a car of her own choosing. So it's not something we've heard it. Imagine if she gets away with this. Can you imagine what the hideous implications of this for any future action which any government agency might want to take? I mean, this is like saying that if a person is accused of some heinous crime, including terrorism, they can actually take the law into their own hands and defy the police, and there is and justify that course of action. So I think the implications of what took place yesterday have to be viewed very, very seriously. Of course, it's a political battle which is being conducted on the streets of Calcutta. It's a more legal battle which is being prevented in the High Court. But all these together, I think, are going to make a big difference in how Bengal is governed in future. At present, I think, in every respect, it's a very shameful day for Bengal.
You know, Mr. Swapan Gupta, you bring up the time when the last elections when Mamata Banerjee had banged her foot and then we saw the plaster. But having said that, that evoked immense amount of empathy and sympathy from her voters, and we saw how that election panned out. But that way, nobody's taking away from the fact that Mamata Banerjee yesterday, being a constitutional post of a chief minister, barged in where investigations were being conducted and took away files which could be incriminatory in nature. Nobody's denying that. And, that is something which the TMC and the chief minister is answerable. But there are two other questions on the sidelines, Swapan Gupta. And Mr. Gupta, first one to touch on, you've had the BJP West Bengal handle, which is the social media handle. You've had the BJP opposition leader. You've had the BJP at the center come out in strong defense and an offensive on Mamata Banerjee at the back of the EC raids. Many are suggesting it's for, of the ED raids. Many are suggesting it's for the ED to answer. Why is the BJP taking up cudgels for the Enforcement Directorate?
Well, it's for the ED to answer as to what exactly they were investigating the IPAC officers. What they were investigating as far as Mr. Pratik Jain, his name is, that's what his name, as far as they were concerned. But I think the larger issue, which I think the BJP handle, as I saw it, put forward, was that there is a rule of law, there are certain constitutional norms, and that this has been violated. I don't think it's for the BJP to comment on the merits or the demerits of the case itself. That is for the ED to actually present before the people or to the courts and do that. So I don't think the BJP has any locus standi as far as that is concerned. But the BJP, just like any other ordinary citizen of West Bengal as well as India, has the right to comment on is the fact that the constitutional norms, the rule of law, was violated recklessly, brazenly, and with pride by a person who is the chief minister. Now, whether that is tantamount to a constitutional breakdown, which Mamata Banerjee, in her own wisdom, might want to actually project perversely, is another matter. But, the ED's fight is not the BJP's fight. The BJP's fight is a political fight. The ED's fight is a legal issue.
But Mr. Gupta, for example, what possibly gives Mamata Banerjee the confidence to do what she did yesterday, and no way can anyone justify what she did. But that confidence could come from the fact, and I'm only quoting data, just on the source of journalistic inquisition, we took out 10 past elections that have happened. In fact, we took out data of all elections that have happened in the last 10 years. And saving 2 states, Mr. Gupta, every state that has gone into election has seen action by investigative agencies on the opposition party, whether it's in the opposition or incumbent government to the BJP, face action by central agencies 2 to 3 months before elections. It's practically nearly every election in the last 10 years.
Well, thank you for pointing out that, and I'm sure that's a very interesting observation. But what I want to point out is that as far as I can make out, and what the ED has said, that these raids yesterday were in connection with a coal scam, a hideous scam which took place. It's been almost about a decade now. It's been in the thing, and it's being monitored on a regular basis by the courts. So it's not something which has happened overnight. Now you may say, why did they leave it to the last minute? I mean, that's a question anyone can ask. But there are issues which are there. There are investigations which are in the offing, and there are investigations which which center on both IPAC as well as the nephew of Mamata Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee. So, I'm stunned by the silence of that gentleman on this thing, because there are a lot of people who would say that this has something to do with him. But those are allegations. I'm not actually making a final assertion on that. But I would say that the BJP is fighting this election on its own. It's a political fight. There is a separate thing called the ED, which has its own agenda, which has its own brief, and its brief which they fulfill. And I don't think we should confuse that. If anyone in the BJP is making the connection that ED is what ED and the BJP are working hand in glove, I think they're making a very serious mistake. That's not the issue at all. Political fights are political fights. The enforcement directorate is the enforcement directorate. CBI is the CBI.
Mr. Das Gupta, for a moment now, if you could pull away from being a leader of the BJP and a part of the Bharatiya Janata Party and wear the hat of a political watcher and analyst that you have been as well, how do you think this will pan out? You gave us the example of what happened the last time around when Mamata Banerjee banged her foot. She got into a cast. Many would suggest that was the first instance that election turned in her favor. Do you think this could also be that move, which an adversity is going to be turned into an advantage by Mamata Banerjee to galvanize voter base?
Well, she's definitely going to try. She tried her level best as far as the SIR was concerned. She tried to make that an issue, which said that, people are their names are being willfully excluded, which is not the case. I think we can fairly assume that the final rolls haven't come out. But the exclusions in Uttar Pradesh, the exclusions in Tamil Nadu are far greater than that of West Bengal. So that's not really the case. But there are significant deletions in things. And she's been wanting to make that into an issue. Now she's trying to make this into an issue. But against that, there is the weight of anti-incumbency, which is there. And that anti-incumbency is based on one of the two facts. One is that a record of corruption, but much more significant is that West Bengal's economic decline has been so terminal that it's really, in one sense, fallen off the economic map of India. A state which was number 2 in 1947 is today almost at the bottom of the league. And that is something which particularly the young people, they feel very strongly that there are no opportunities in West Bengal. Calcutta, for instance, which was once a vibrant city, has been more or less turned into an old age home. So those sort of the lapses, these after 15 years, Mamata Banerjee's record of governance leaves much to be desired. And I think she's trying to overcome some of these deficiencies by creating certain emotive issues. And I think this is just one of them. Whether it'll succeed or not, we have to see. It'll also depend on how well the BJP plays it, how well the elections are. How well the BJP manages the elections, etc. But yes, this is certainly her endeavor.
Let me ask you one final question before we let you go, Mr. Swapan Das Gupta. You say how the BJP manages it, that remains to be seen. Let me ask you, you've been a BJP leader. You come from West Bengal, where you've seen BJP, rise from a complete knot to an impressive opening, which was in the last election. This time around, where does the BJP stand? Many would suggest that there's a fair amount of confusing messaging. You have Samik Bhattacharya, who's your state president, who's been considered a moderate voice, and then you have somebody as hawkish as a Suvendu Adhikari. Many feel that this is very conflicting messaging.
Well, I think the messaging, if you really look at it, there has to be multiple messaging in any state. There's never, BJP is not a party which has a supreme leader in the state. There are various leaders in the state. Shomik Bhattacharya is a very old, tested, tried veteran of the party, who has a very poetic way, a very eloquent way. His public speeches are, in a sense, very Bajpayee-esque in their style of delivery. And Shuvendu, on the other hand, is much more pugnacious, to the point, and, much more fierce. both have a place in this battle, and both of them appeal to different constituencies, but those constituencies are complementary. They have a very basic aim, which is to get the BJP back from being almost a non-entity into the center stage of West Bengal.
Fair point. Do we see you back in a more prominent political role, Mr. Das Gupta, soon?
I've always had a political role in West Bengal. I've always played it. Sometimes because of pressure of work, I'm in Delhi, but I'm very much there in West Bengal.
All right. We hope to hear you more often as the election comes near. Thank you, sir, for taking the time out and joining us in India today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so we continue to get you more voices on this developing story. Those visuals that are doing all the talking, Mamata Banerjee, who has cobbled up all the support, setting a clear narrative that it is the BJP that is unleashing the central investigative agencies to fulfill its political motives, and that is how she is trying to justify the action that she took yesterday. But how can that possibly be justified? Because she obstructed an ongoing ED raid, a raid that was conducted at the residence and office of IPAC, residence, of course, of Pratik Jain, who happens to head IPAC. And that is when Mamata Banerjee, according to ED officials, walked inside, took his phone and important files and stormed out of that residence. Now, while the matter is in court, more and more responses coming in. Let's listen into what Mahua Moitra has said.
It is our property. It is our property. ED has come in to do a robbery into our house. ED is doing political espionage, and ED is doing the political loot of our property. IPAC, everybody knows that IPAC is, we have a signed contract with them for our election strategy and our election work. All our election data, our surveys, our candidate lists, everything is in the IPAC offices. Now, 1 month before an election, in the middle of the SIR, on some old trumped up 6 or 7 year old coal scams case, suddenly they've woken up and they have come to get all our information. So they have come to tamper with our information and take it and go and give it to the ED. And Mamata Banerjee has gone in. If somebody comes to your house to do a robbery, you are within your rights of self-defense to go and protect your own property. Mamata Banerjee is the leader of our party. That is our party's own confidential private information. We have every right to go in there and try and save it. Otherwise, ED will take everything and give it to the BJP. So it is the other way around. The shoe is on the other foot.
Coming back to my colleague Indrajit Kundu, who stays live with us on the broadcast. Indrajit, we've been playing out all the responses that have been coming in from the TMC. But to say that they should not be accountable to any central investigative agency, any central investigative body, is this taking it a bit too far? Because while they push that narrative, but how do they justify taking the law into their hands?
Well, look, Swesha, before we, proceed with the conversation, let me show you a glimpse of some of the posters that the TMC has put up. And this is what they're doing. You see this poster that is lined up Mamata Banerjee's rally side. It says in Bangla, Bolche Jhoot, Korche Loot, Shorojantrokari, Bangla Birodi, BJP Chichi. So basically, the narrative that the Trinamool wants to set through these posters is that it is a conspiracy, that the BJP is conspiring. They are not being able to take Mamata Banerjee politically, electorally, right ahead of the elections. That's why they are unleashing these central agencies. And it's a conspiracy to somehow defame her, trouble her government and win the electoral process. So this is the message. It's about messaging. It's about optics, and it's about creating public perception. And politics is all about perception. Mamata Banerjee being an astute politician, somebody who has over the past several elections been able to, defeat the Modi, Amit Shah juggernaut. You see, 2021 assembly elections were humongous, the kind of, coverage we've seen. Then last year's Lok Sabha election, once again the Trinamool Congress won 29 seats. They were able to, get the majority of the seats, and the BJP, which had won 18 seats in 2019, its tally came down to 12. So somewhere down the line, Mamata Banerjee understands the pulse of Bengal and how she can, seduce, in a sense, the voters of Bengal, especially a big chunk of women. It's been almost what? It's been almost about half an hour, 45 minutes that we have been walking with her. And on both sides of the road, we've seen, umpteen number of people lining up to catch a glimpse of Mamata Banerjee. This is exactly what she does. She creates this spectacle. When she's out on the streets, people want to see her. And that is the mass connect that Mamata Banerjee has. She's one of those last mass leaders still in Indian politics. And she's using that. And what we do see, of course, is that the number of people who line up on the streets, once again, I would show you, there is a big chunk of women there. So that's one of our core vote banks, and she tries to galvanize that. That's the strength of Mamata Banerjee. And as you've been saying, there's a protracting legal battle that may be up on the cards in the days to come, with such serious allegations against her that she barged into premises when the Enforcement Directorate was raiding and conducting search operations. That's a legal battle that the Trinamool Congress says that they're not worried about. They're going to fight it. I've spoken to several Trinamool leaders, and I did ask them about that are they not afraid that Mamata Banerjee will have to face the legal consequences? They're saying no. They are not afraid of anything right now, and it is the upcoming elections that they want to focus. And Mamata Banerjee has been able to recharge, energize her core, supporters, and they're out on the streets proving that today. Back to you.
But Indrajit, like we said, it is a perception battle. So what is it that they're possibly trying to project? They don't trust the Election Commission of India. They raise fingers against the judiciary, not trusting the central investigative agencies, ED, CBI, Income Tax Department. And whenever they win the elections, they keep all quiet at that time. But as soon as there is a sense of fear that they are losing, or it is probably about fighting that political battle, then we see this sort of a narrative being pushed. Not too sure if Indrajit is still connected with us. We'll try and reconnect that line, but these are unprecedented visuals that are on our screens right now. A march that is being led by Mamata Banerjee and all the TMC supporters, where they make it very clear that this is a fight against the BJP, and in their very own words, they say that they will not bend, they will not bow down, because they say that the action that was committed by Mamata Banerjee yesterday was clearly in the interest of the TMC. Those were important documents of the party. Mincing no words there, it's a straight up allegation by the TMC, where they say that the ruling party is misusing the Central Investigative Agency. They are unleashing those forces just ahead of the polls, because the files that they wanted to get were actually key files that held strategies of what the TMC is going to do in the upcoming polls. Indrajit, I believe, is back with us. Indrajit, I was mentioning to you about the perception battle. And for that very reason, the projection that comes in is that they've raised fingers against the Election Commission of India, against the judiciary, against the central investigative agencies, ED, CBI, even the Income Tax Department. Not only is it lack of accountability, but it really comes across that as long as they are winning, it's all right. But if they lose, or if they have to push the political fight, then they start blaming the institutional bodies.
Well, absolutely. Those are questions that would be asked of Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress leadership, and they should be asked. But the point here on ground is what you see in Bengal. It's a battle which holds no bars. All is fair in love and war, and they say all is fair in politics. So every weapon would be used in this mega battle of Bengal. And as I've been saying, people line up in large numbers to watch Mamata Banerjee. Her core vote bank, you would see women. You see women, every 10 out of, 7 out of 10, supporters who are lining up on the streets are women. And this is her core vote bank. With a mobile in their hands, they're trying to capture her image of Mamata Banerjee walking. Look at the, large number of women who have gathered here. So this is what Mamata Banerjee's core vote bank is. And she, see, and they are out in large numbers. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, and they want to catch a glimpse of her. So this is her charisma, and she wants to use that in order to once again rally and galvanize support. And this has been, this is in a sense vintage Mamata Banerjee, and this is why the Trinamool Congress as a party, as a political party, is so dependent on her. She is the chairperson of the party. She is the foremost and the supreme leader of this party. And she, in a sense, it is on her face, banking on her face, that the Trinamool Congress goes into the elections. You see, Abhishek Banerjee, of course, the second in command, is kind of slowly moving into the organization of the Trinamool Congress. He is taking charge. But even now, it is the Mamata Banerjee's face that the Trinamool Congress uses to garner support. And therefore, when the party seems in a crisis, or they sense that there is some sort of a crisis, it is Mamata Banerjee who comes out on the street. See, they are saying, Didi ke dekhta hai. They want to see. কাকে দেখতে এসেছেন?
দিদিকে দেখতে এসেছি।
কেন?
এমনি ভালো লাগে। ভালো লাগছে তাই দেখতে এসেছি। যে দেখিনি কোনোদিন সামনাসামনি তাই দেখি। হ্যাঁ ভালো কাজ করছে। দেখছি তো।
দিদি আপনাদের জন্য কি করছে?
আমরা দিদিকে ভালোবাসি। কাজ করছে দিদি।
So you see, these women, once you see them, look at the kind of excitement. The police literally, the police officers will literally push and shove you. It's difficult. Bhai, ঠেলে দিও না এইভাবে ঠেলে দিও না. Hold. It's really difficult to in fact cover, Mamata Banerjee when she's out on the streets, because it's always a nightmare as far as security drills are concerned. So it's a nightmare for the security personnel, especially the Kolkata police officials, because unlike other leaders, Mamata Banerjee does not really take a convoy or be on a vehicle or a cavalcade. She prefers to walk, and once she walks, she literally walks at quite a pace, and it's difficult to catch up with her. And then you have this huge police deployment on the streets of Kolkata to man and provide her security. There often you see her supporters trying to go near her to get a glimpse of her, to catch her, to see Mamata Banerjee. You see young kids have been brought here to give flowers to Mamata Banerjee. So these often do turn up as huge security challenge for the Kolkata police officials. And this, of course, I don't think this is going to be the last. This is just the first of several such rallies that we will be able to witness all through the election season in West Bengal. Those who cover Mamata Banerjee, people like me, we have been doing this for several decades now in Kolkata. It's almost like a good workout for journalists, for media person, and for the police in general, even as the public, the bystanders, they stand and wave and try and catch a glimpse of their chief minister. So this is the kind of show that you get to see when Mamata Banerjee is out on the streets to galvanize support for her party every time she's out there facing a crisis.
Oh yes, absolutely. And one thing is very clear, Indro, that this has marked a fiery start to the upcoming polls in West Bengal, has certainly laid the ground to what a fierce battle it is going to be.
Well, absolutely. Suesha, look at the turnout here in this rally. We've been trying to show you, trying to give you a glimpse of, women, children with flowers who have been brought in, mothers bringing their children to catch a glimpse. And as I've been saying, you see so many women supporters. As I've been saying, 10 people, if you see 10 people, 7 out of 10 people would be women supporters of Mamata Banerjee, who are very, very energetic, who are extremely enthusiastic, and they come out in large numbers to just egg on Mamata Banerjee as she walks down the streets of Kolkata. So if you have to understand, if one has to understand Bengal politics and the way it moves on the ground, and why Mamata Banerjee has been able to, win Bengal 3 consecutive times, then you will have to understand what's happening on the ground right now. She still continues to remain a very, very popular leader on ground. She has the mass connection, and in a sense, she's one of those last mass leaders who has that connect with the audience. And the Trinamool Congress is so heavily dependent on that every time there is a crisis that is facing the party, it is Mamata Banerjee who invariably will have to come out on the street and use that mass appeal that she has to somehow nullify any threat perception. And here also, as we have been discussing, it is the image of her, a 60, in her late 60s, somebody, an aged woman, taking this fight politically for Bengal and taking it on against multiple central agencies. This is the image that the Trinamool Congress wants to portray, and therefore Mamata Banerjee is once again out on the streets. Back to you.
That's right. Indrajit, Sneha this side, and as you get us those pictures really of Mamata Banerjee on the streets along with the supporters, I think the word or the phrase that really comes to my mind at this point in time is mahal banana, or it does appear, doesn't it, Indrajit, that the mahal in that sense has been set. The stage really is set for what really is going to be, a very politically charged next few weeks and months really between the BJP and the TMC in the run-up to elections in the state of Bengal.
So, the sights and sounds of a Mamata Banerjee rally here in Kolkata, Sneha, very, very colorful, lots and lots of supporters and lots of women. Every 10 steps that we go, you see these women, they are the core vote bank of the Trinamool Congress, and they're out here. Look at their excitement. So they're out this afternoon to catch a glimpse of Mamata Banerjee and also, take photos of her at this point in time. So, as I said, it's never easy to cover a Mamata Banerjee rally. You literally, I was just telling my camera person Shubhojit, one really have to be really, really fit to be able to, walk the entire distance that Mamata Banerjee walks. And at the pace as she walks at her age, she's often said this as a chief minister. She's quite workaholic, and she walks a few thousand steps every day on the treadmill. She's aging, of course, and what we saw today when she came here at the rally, that she was limping, and yet she has decided that she would undertake this Padayatra, and which is in a sense a very old school. She is in a sense a very old school politician, and she could have been on a cavalcade. She could have been on a car, on a vehicle, waving at people, but she doesn't do that. She believes that when she walks, she would be able to make the connect. I recall 2021 during the assembly elections when we were covering similar rallies, and Mamata Banerjee was on the wheelchair then, and yet she had decided to.
And we have more news coming in at this point in time. The Chief Minister of Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, is out on the streets against the ED. A BJP delegation has met the Bengal Governor Ananda Bose, seeking Bengal governor's intervention. BJP says Mamata is misusing the state police's machinery. That's a refrain of the Bharatiya Janata Party here against the Trinamool Congress, asking immediate intervention of the governor. This in context of the raids that have been seen. Indrajit is getting us more details. Indrajit was at the protest site where Mamata was, in fact, a few moments ago. Protesters still behind you, Indrajit. What's the latest? The BJP now reaching out to the governor.
Well, that's right. It's all out, political war that has broken out. In a sense, one can say the bugle for the 2026 Bengal Assembly elections have already been, announced. And now Mamata Banerjee is out on the streets. On the other hand, you see a BJP delegation meeting the governor, who is the centre's representative in the state. The BJP, of course, with a host of complaints, specifically against Mamata Banerjee, of course, that the fact that she, literally went inside during ED raid in the city. So the BJP on its front trying to corner Mamata Banerjee on the matter of propriety, on the matter of legality, that how can a chief minister, who is also the home minister of the state, take law onto her own hands and barge into a premises where the central agency, which is legally mandated, is conducting a search and raid operation, which the ED says they're doing it in connection to the coal scam. On the other hand, you see Mamata Banerjee high on optics trying to rally and garner support here on the streets of Kolkata. And as we have been showing you for the past several hours now, huge turnout, massive turnout all through the route through which Mamata Banerjee is walking. She's flanked by, Bengali superstar Dev, who is also a Trinamool Congress MP. So, Mamata Banerjee trying to put in the star quotient, but make no doubt about the fact that, as far as the Trinamool Congress is concerned, Mamata Banerjee and her charisma is the biggest USP that the Trinamool Congress has in West Bengal. And every time the Trinamool Congress, in a seeming situation of crisis, it is Mamata Banerjee who is out on the streets to rally support. And, both sides of the street, we are seeing huge gathering of her Trinamool Congress supporters, especially when it is a call given by none other than Mamata Banerjee herself, the party's supremo. It re-energizes the party cadres, and then they're out on the street, every leader, all through this location, from Jadavpur Universities, from the gate of the Jadavpur University, this rally began, and it's going to end at Hajra. This entire stretch is, of course, South Kolkata, which is the TMC stronghold, Mamata Banerjee stronghold. And when it converges at Hajra, it's very, close to Mamata Banerjee's official residence near the Kalighat temple. So you can understand, she's going to end the rally in her own neighborhood. That's where the chief minister resides. There is multiple layers of optics in this entire matter. And the Trinamool, of course, trying to up the ante against the BJP and, put forth this perception that Mamata Banerjee is a lone warrior. She is this only woman, the woman chief minister right now, and the only woman who is actually in the opposition taking on the BJP. And she is being targeted unfairly by the central agencies. That is the perception that the Trinamool Congress wants to build and rally public support in favor of the party. And therefore, Mamata Banerjee, as the mascot, is once again out on the street doing that very, thing.
Well, absolutely. Images are, in fact, from a while ago on the right side of your screens of the Chief Minister. Several reactions also coming in as to how the TMC alleges that the BJP is using all of these agencies to settle political scores. In Rijit, the BJP isn't taking that line down as well and saying that if there was no wrongdoing, then why did Mamata Banerjee, throw her weight behind IPAC in the fashion it has? She has. The ED is carrying out investigations and obstructions are being created by the Chief Minister herself. If there's nothing to hide, then why create these obstructions in the first place?
Well, that's right. That's the attack that is coming in from the opposition, the BJP. The BJP, of course, will harp on that point, and that's it is a valid point, that what was the requirement for the Chief Minister herself to take law into her own hands? She's not just the Trinamool Congress Supremo, mind you. She's also the administrative head of West Bengal. She is the Chief Minister. She has taken oath of office. How can she take law onto her own hands? That, as I have been saying continuously in this coverage, it will have legal repercussions. The case is before the High Court. It came out for hearing today. There was ruckus inside the court, and it will now come up once again later in this month, and it will have legal ramifications. But all the Trinamool Congress leaders that I have spoken to at this very rally that they have attended, all of them are saying the same thing. They're saying that we are not afraid. We are not very worried or scared about the kind of legal action that can happen, because you must understand, they're talking about Mamata Banerjee. She is the tallest political leader in the opposition camp and in Bengal right now. And any action against her will have political implications. The fact that even if there is some stringent legal action that is taken, if that is proven before the court, once that action is taken, that will have legal ramifications, and especially closing in on the elections. The political parties, especially the opposition, they know very well in the 2021 assembly elections, Mamata Banerjee got injured during campaign in Nandigram. And many would suggest that in a sense was one of the turning points, one of the many turning points of the 2021 elections. That defining image of a woman leader, Mamata Banerjee, on a wheelchair with plaster on her feet, and she was campaigning wheelchair bound all through. That in a sense, there was a huge galvanizing of support and sympathy wave in favor of Mamata Banerjee. And she is a master of that craft. You would know. And therefore, in West Bengal, given that her woman vote bank is something which is very, very crucial all through this rally that we have been walking these several kilometers in Kolkata, in South Kolkata, both sides we've been seeing umpteen number of women lining up just to catch a glimpse. She's, of Mamata Banerjee at this point. Somebody who is in her late 60s and she's walking this entire distance does... there is some semblance of resonance with, women, especially mostly working class women. And they, in Mamata Banerjee, see that she is somebody that they can relate to. And that has always been the USP of a politician like Mamata Banerjee, of the stature of a politician like Mamata Banerjee. And that is the biggest, USP of the Trinamool Congress at this point in time, as I've been saying. Within the party, within Trinamool Congress, there might be several leaders and several ministers, but none greater than Mamata Banerjee. She is the supreme leader. She has the most charisma. And often you would see when the Trinamool Congress, in its campaign, in the 294 seats that are on offer in West Bengal, most often this is spoken of that Mamata Banerjee is the candidate for the Trinamool in all 294 seats. She says it herself. So wherever there is anti-incumbency, and mind you, there is quite a strong anti-incumbency even in West Bengal right now. Mamata Banerjee has been in power for 15 years, and that is but obvious that there would be some sentiments anti-incumbency. What you do see, of course, that Mamata Banerjee, when she is reaching out to the people, she would say that people should vote for her and not look at the local candidate. So whatever anti-incumbency there may be against the Trinamool, and specifically against the local leadership with massive allegations of corruption, with syndicate, with all these core issues which have been there as talking points in West Bengal politics for several years now, and the opposition political parties, specifically the principal opposition BJP, has been harping on those issues. But however, corruption as an issue, and massive amounts of corruption at that, with several ministers being arrested and then they're out on bail.
Indrajit, will come back to you. In fact, a series of reactions that have been coming in as far as that latest flashpoint is concerned. Let's take a listen.
You see some names here on this poster. The names are Ajit Pawar. The Prime Minister himself said 70,000 crores is the scam that he's been. Where is he today? Deputy Chief Minister. Where is he today? In Maharashtra, running the government with the BJP. Second name, Himanta Bisa Sarma. He was in the Louis Berger scam and he was supposed to be in jail, said Mr. Amit Shah. Where is he today? He's Mr. Mastermind for the Northeast for the BJP and Chief Minister of Assam. What name do you see here after that? Suvendu Adhikari. Suvendu Adhikari was caught on camera taking money. Caught on camera. Where is he today? Leader of the opposition in Bengal. Who do you see here? Narayan Rane, who's been accused of numerous scams. Where is he? In the Maharashtra government. So why is the ED selectively only for the opposition and a washing machine for those that the BJP like?
अमित शाह जी ने खुद कहा था कि हेमंत बिस्वा शर्मा को जेल डालेंगे। अजीत पवार के विरुद्ध प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा था कि 70,000 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ है। नारायण राणे के ऊपर पैसे को हेराफेरी करने का किया गया है। और हमारे बंगाल के एक नेता है सुवेंदु अधिकारी, जिनको 5 लाख रुपया हेराफेरी करते हुए, पकड़ते हुए और अपने ड्रॉर में डालते हुए देखा गया था। ईडी विशेष रूप से उन विरोधियों के खिलाफ में काम कर रही है जिनके खिलाफ वो जीत नहीं सकती। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की हिम्मत नहीं कि वह वहां आकर ममता बंदोपाध्याय के विरुद्ध जीत सके। जो भी रेड हुआ है वह रेड उचित नहीं है, अनुचित है। जीतने के लिए वह कुछ भी करने को तैयार है। और जिस प्रकार का रेड हुआ, ये चोर लोग ही इस तरीके से करते हैं और आकर हम पर ब्लेम लगाते हैं, उल्टा चोर कोतवाल को डांटे वाली बात।
You're seeing what is happening to MPs. All our MPs have been picked up. Shut! Governor! No! Don't ये मत करो।
ये अमित शाह जी का ऑफिस है। कल ईडी को भेजे थे। इलेक्शन के टाइम उनको सब याद आ जाते हैं। पहले उनका 10 साल 11 साल कुछ नहीं याद रहते। इलेक्शन के टाइम सब ईडी भेजना, सीबीआई भेजना, उसका याद आ जाते हैं इलेक्शन जीतने के लिए, लेकिन जीतेंगे नहीं। हाँ, वही तो भेजा है ना, उनका डिपार्टमेंट है।
Misuse of the censor board and all the way to allegations of misuse of ED as well. What a day it has been for the government of India. Hello and welcome. This is 5 Live. I'm Sonal Kapoor. Lots of developments happening at the top of this hour. But quickly, let's take a glimpse of what we've got for you.
Mamata versus ED. It has gotten personal. Didi street fighter avatar returns. Kolkata to Delhi. TMC netas march on. Blockbuster before ballot battle. File gate to decide Bengal's fate.
কোঅপারেশন ডিপার্টমেন্টের সেক্রেটারি ছিলেন, আমার তাতে আপত্তি নেই। কিন্তু ভ্যানিশ কুমার যদি ভোট ভ্যানিশ করে দেয় তাহলে বলবো না কেন? আপনি কি ম্যাজিশিয়ান? জনগণ ঠিক করবে কাকে ভোট দেবে, না আপনি বিজেপিকে ইলেকশনে জেতাবার জন্য সব নাগরিকদের অধিকার কেড়ে নিচ্ছেন? নাগরিকদের অধিকার কেড়ে নিলে আপনার অধিকারও আমরা কেড়ে নেব। মনে রাখবেন, আঘাত করলে প্রত্যাঘাত কি করে করতে হয়। আজ সকাল 8টায় দিল্লির কুয়াশা ঠান্ডার মধ্যে আমাদের এমপিরা প্রতিবাদ করেছে, তাদের চেন্দোলা করে অত্যাচার করে টেনে নিয়ে গেছেন। আর এখানে লাল কার্পেট বিছিয়ে পুলিশ আপনাদের মিটিং করায়, কোর্টের পারমিশন নিয়ে আসেন।
You have captured all the agencies under the government of India. You have captured power in Maharashtra. I challenge you. You have captured Haryana forcibly. You have captured Bihar forcibly.
হরিয়ানা জোর করে দখল করেছেন, বিহার জোর করে দখল করেছেন, অনেক রাজ্য জোর করে দখল করেছেন।
You have captured multiple states forcibly. Every time you hear Bengal, you start attacking us. You just can't tolerate Bengal. Anyone who speaks in Bengali are being attacked in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Uttar Pradesh, in Delhi, in Gujarat. What do they think we are? We live in peace and harmony. We believe in the harmony of all religions. There are a lot of Hindi-speaking people in Bengal here at this rally. I want to ask them, have they ever felt insecure here? We extend courtesy to this BJP. Otherwise, I don't want to say what we are capable of doing. Please remember, we could have done a lot of things. They are saying coal scam. But who has taken the money of coal scam. It is the Home Minister. It is the Gaddar. Home Minister used to get the money of coal scam through the Gaddar. It is the BJP leaders who made money through coal scam and sent it to the Home Minister. It is Home Minister Amit Shah who got the money and the proceeds from the coal scam. I want to tell them, it is your good luck that I am still in power in Bengal, but I have the evidence on pen drive, but I have not put it in public. But if you keep attacking me, I will expose you. But I'm still maintaining courtesy. But remember, there is a threshold to everything. Do not cross the Lakshman Rekha. If you do, you will not be able to tackle. I know a lot of things. I am privy to a lot of things, but I don't speak out just for the good of the nation, because if I do, there will be big trouble. When your party holds meetings, then you take police, BSF, CRPF, CISF. They are such cowards. Today Abhishek went for a rally in Nadia and they got the central forces. Why should they intervene in the law and order of a state? If Prime Minister comes here for a meeting, does the police not provide him security? What I did yesterday, I did it as the chairperson of the All India Trinamool Congress. I don't mind doing what I've done, but you are a thief. You are trying to steal our election data. You are trying to steal the addresses of the TMC's BLA2s. We have authorized IPAC. They are working for the Trinamool Congress. You sent your team at 6 o'clock. I entered at 11:45. But you stole everything in that time. When I heard the news. But when I called Pratik, I found that he was not responding to calls. That raised a suspicion in my mind. You have to understand, I love my people, I love my supporters. I have to save my party, I have to save my people. If I don't save and stand for my party, how will we fight them? Shameless BJP has forgotten that the same agency IPAC had also worked with Narendra Modi. The same IPAC has also worked for Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar. Jagan Mohan Reddy, they had worked for Jagan Mohan Reddy as well. That time Prashant Kishore was at the helm. Now, Prashant Kishore has opened his own political party, so therefore Pratik Jain is in charge of IPAC right now. So IPAC looks after our IT cell in West Bengal. We have only one, but BJP have crores and crores of money. They have so many agencies. But look how arrogant they have become. Those who indulge and foment riots, they are the ones who are in power in this country right now. I can expect courtesy from a gentleman.
মিনিস্টার আজ পর্যন্ত পাওয়া যায়নি। গুজরাটের প্রাক্তন হোম মিনিস্টার মিস্টার হারিন পান্ডে বললেন পার্লামেন্টে পারলে তোমরা তুলো, কোথায় গেল?
What happened to Harin Pandya, the former Home Minister of Gujarat? Will the Righteous Party now answer? Have they forgotten Godhra? Have they forgotten Unnao? Have they forgotten Delhi? Have they forgotten Hathras, Pahalgam? They keep saying that Bengal is full of infiltrators. I don't want to comment because it also involves relations with another country. But who is in charge of guarding our borders? It is the BSF. The BSF was in charge. They had a jurisdiction of 5 kilometers. Now they have increased their jurisdiction to 50 kilometers. They're doing this just to intimidate people at the border. West Bengal government is responsible to man our international borders. It is the BSF. Who looks after the coast? It is the CISF. Who is in charge of giving passports? It is the central government. Who is in charge of customs? It is the central government. Train services, civil aviation, everything is under the central government. So, whoever is entering the country, using whichever mode of transport, we are not supposed to know. It is the central government's duty. They are now questioning icons like Amartya Sen, asking him to explain why there is an age difference. What is his mother's age? In this country, institutional delivery of children took place pretty late. A lot of people were born at home. Many people have issues with their birth certificates. So may I ask them, what is their mode of delivery? Are you the delivery boy of CBI or the ED?
हमारा परिवार का कोई पॉलिटिक्स नहीं करेगा, क्यों नहीं करेगा? पॉलिटिक्स করলে তো খাটতে হয়, বদনাম খেতে হয়, সারাক্ষণ খেটে বেড়াতে হয়, আর তোমার ছেলে কিচ্ছু করবে না।
Mamata Banerjee attacks the Home Minister, saying that why can't people from our family enter into politics? It is hard work. But what about your son? He got everything without any hard work. He's now the international president. From washing machine, they have now become vanishing machine.
আমরা তো মনে করি মাঝে মাঝে রেড কার্পেট পেটে অনেক যত্ন করে প্রোগ্রাম করে। একটা ছেলে জয় বাংলা বলেছিল বলে মারতে পেরে গেছিল, আমরা মনে আছে, আমি ছবিটা দেখেছিলাম। আর তোমরা যে সারাক্ষণ কুৎসারটা গালাগালি দাও সোশ্যাল নেটওয়ার্কে,
You defame us all the time using social media.
টাকা নিয়ে যাদের জেল থেকে ছাড়িয়েছি আমরা,
and there are a few dalals who are working at their behest in lieu of money. If you target me unnecessarily,
There you go, Mamata Banerjee addressing the crowd, also making some very sharp remarks towards the BJP. Now, what you see on your screen right now is Mamata Banerjee taking the battle for Bengal to the streets. Just yesterday, here on the program, we broke the story of what was unfolding in Bengal. And today, 24 hours later, the story has unfolded and how. Mamata Banerjee there took out a Padyatra, had a march that has now culminated into her speech. In that speech, she's talking about all those attacks. But one
जो अराजकता चल रही है, जो कल मुख्यमंत्री का एक्शन था, the entire action of the chief minister is totally unethical, unconstitutional and criminal offense किया है, जो उन्होंने संविधान की शपथ लेकर असंवैधानिक काम किया है मुख्यमंत्री.
All right, you're seeing parallel protests over there, one by BJP, one by the Trinamool Congress, and there the battle for Bengal is heating up and how. Let me quickly bring in our reporters now to bring you more perspective on the story and what's happening really on the ground. Indrajit Kundu is with us. Indrajit, what 24 hours have you really witnessed, right from ED making that search to Mamata Banerjee coming out with the papers? Now she's the one driving the narrative, taking it to the streets and saying this is an all-out attack by the BJP. The one thing she's saying very categorically is actually responding to Amit Shah on the outsiders and the Bangladeshi comments. She's saying who's protecting the borders? It's the Home Ministry and they should respond, not her.
Well, yes, Mamata Banerjee, of course, firing on all cylinders right now at this rally. The rally has culminated next to her house here at the Hajra crossing. And this is where Mamata Banerjee is speaking. I will ask my camera person to show. She's on the dais, she's giving the speech, and it's a scathing attack against not just the central government, but the BJP in general, and also Home Minister Amit Shah, under whom you have the ED and the CBI. And Mamata Banerjee accusing the misuse of central agencies, and she's saying that all the central agencies have been captured by the BJP. She's saying that if the BJP continuously keeps on harping on the fact that that Bengal is full of illegal Rohingyas, then how is it? What is the role of the BSF? It is the BSF's failure. It is the BSF which mans the international borders, the customs, the passport. All these agencies are controlled by the central government. So it is impossible for the state government to know who is moving in and out of the country through various modes of transport. So why is it that the BJP is continuously targeting the West Bengal government and the Trinamool Congress over this issue? So Mamata Banerjee taking the attack head on, point by point, at this point in time, as she tries to build that narrative in favor of her party. Back to you.
Right, Indrajit there talking about and at that location where Mamata Banerjee is still speaking. Remember that march started about 2 hours ago. It has culminated into that speech that she's making. But as we understand that there is now a parallel protest by the BJP that has started as well. My colleague Anupam Mishra is also with us. Anupam, very interesting to see that this entire protest march and the current instigation would have started with the ED protest, or in fact the ED raid over there. But Mamata Banerjee is using this platform to attack Amit Shah point by point on the press conference that he had while he was in Bengal just last week.
Well, yes, Mamata Banerjee, if you see Mamata Banerjee, yesterday she has also attacked Amit Shah, and right now today she is also attacking Amit Shah. And it's a direct attack towards Amit Shah, because one thing Mamata Banerjee said that the coal scam which ED had referred that they have gone for research, the same coal scam Mamata Banerjee has also